cayenne pepper.
Right.
And adding cayenne pepper apparently would blow your head off, never mind give you a throat it. It took the rest of your head with it. And it became quite popular, but more with the American market than with the UK one. In the UK market, it never really took off. People didn't really like it, you know. Here, a lot of people discovered that menthol added to a juice would give extra throat it. In fact, menthol can give throat it without any nicotine at all. And that is more where the European market sort of stayed put. And I know Jason over at TW brought out a range, perhaps more with the American market in mind, the Diablo Loco, as someone's just typed into chat. And again, that was based on the peppers, the paprikas, the cayennes and all that, you know. Personally, I think they're awful. I have tried them. I don't like them. That's not my idea of throated. That's not what throated is all about. And alcohol, again, I've seen people say they've used alcohol, put some vodka or what have you in it, and it gives a little bit extra throated. Personally, I can't see how that amount could. It could be that, you know, in your head you think it does, but I can't really see how such a small amount like that could make a difference to throated. So, you know, like you, I would agree that throated is down to the same combination over and over again. Nicotine, heat, battery power.
Of course, there's also that stuff that Flavour Arts came out with. The green stuff. Was it Flavour Arts that came out with it? It's green. If Once Upon was in the chat room, he would tell me straight away. Oh, what is it called?
I don't know. I never bought that stuff.
Well,
never did.
Neither did I, because it's green.
Oh yeah, Dave K's in there, and he's saying, ask Hi-Fi about the throated from chicken chili. Chili's another pepper that I didn't mention.
That's the stuff that's in the Diablo Loco and Diablo Poco.
It's in that, right.
If throated is your bag and you want something that will take away your vocal cords, clean out your clack and dissolve your esophagus, that's the stuff. Diablo Loco. My giddy aunt. I haven't got that footage from the mini-meet earlier this year handy. If I had, you would see a man who does like throated give up the ghost. My God, it smacks you. And it was a throat hit. It wasn't just nicotine throat hit, and it wasn't just like a chili throat hit. It really did. My God, I'm sorry, I'm feeling slightly nauseous just thinking about it. Wicked stuff. Wicked. Yes, that would definitely do the job.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at Sav and I vape 18. She can vape 8 milligrams to 11, and yet the throated she gets from a menthol is stronger than what I get. You know, if I vape her juice, I'll go, oh my God, you know, that's one hell of a hit, but it's the menthol that does it.
Well,
so it works the same way, doesn't it?
I think, yeah, I remember reading somewhere that in the States, at any rate, there was kind of a thing about menthol in certain ethnic groups. Now, they favoured it because the nicotine takes effect quicker and the half-life is extended, apparently. That menthol makes nicotine more effective. And I assume that it's going to exacerbate or enhance the throat hit out of whatever juice it is you've got. The nicotine that's in there, it'll make it kick more, maybe. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe. I don't know. I just know that extra nicotine. I mean, for example, you know, I spoke about this little gadget last night, the multi-mod, and that runs at a slightly higher voltage than what I'm used to.
Yes.
and it made one hell of a difference with the same juice that I'm using. You know, that I started tasting, as I said to everybody, you know, I'd added a little bit of toffee to the juice I use.
As you do.
And I couldn't taste it. It was in there, and I couldn't taste it. And the moment I put it in here, I tasted it. So it does make a difference, you know, the voltage on the battery, which I didn't realise it did make such a difference.
Well, everything that's in a juice has a different, I'll say boiling point, but it's got a different level of volatility. And both nicotine and the flavourings and everything else will become volatile, become gaseous or vaporous or vapour at different temperatures. And this is why variable voltage and variable wattage mods are so damned useful, because you can tune it not just for the atomizer but also for the juice that you're using. So you might have a juice that's not particularly flavourful at, I don't know, let's say 3.7 for argument's sake, but you whack it up to 4.3 and all of a sudden you get flavours through that you weren't getting before. And I've noticed this with the Provari and with the Darwin and all sorts of different atomizers and cartomizers and different juices, because I don't just use RY4, I do try other ones, with the exception of Peanut after last night. And yeah, you get different kind of flavour profiles out of them. It's why when I did the RY4 battle, that was all done at exactly the same voltage with exactly the same atomizer all the way through, so that was how it tasted at that level. You know, I could have tweaked to kind of get the best out of it for whichever juice it was and get the best out of the juice and just tweak the voltage up and down to sort that, but I didn't think that would be a level playing field, if you like. So yeah, I do think heat helps. The hotter it is, the more throat hit you get. Whether that's because it's hotter or because it's got a better concentration of nicotine in it, I don't know. But certainly heat plays a large part, and obviously nicotine plays a large part.
It does. And I mean, what baffled me was that's the device I've been using, which I think everybody hopefully can see. It's a silver bullet with an 18650. And that's an LR that's on there at the moment. And this little thing, which I didn't expect to pump out a great deal, gave me more flavour. And I thought, I know it's all down to, you know, what you've been trying to teach me about the light bulbs, etc. But you look at that and you think, yeah, an 18650 battery, it's quite the size in there. And then there's this little thing, you know, at, what is it, 220?
2200.
And you think, my God, I wouldn't have believed size for size that would give me more. You know, well, just my little brain can't compute.
Well, it's going slightly off the point of throat hit, but in your salve bullet, and I will remind you, it is a salve bullet, not a silver bullet. That's Sav's silver bullet.
Yeah. It's a salve bullet. And I said this, I didn't say mine.
Right. The 18650 that you were using in that is one of those silver trust fires, and it has a milliamp hour capacity of about a real 2200. Now, in your Virgin, the white one, the Virginal one,
yes,
it's
Virginia.
That's the. Are you calling the Virginia? Are you? Because she's sweet.
It's virginal. Yes.
Yes. The batteries in there, or the battery in there, is a flat pack battery, or what they call a prism battery. And because of the way lithium ion works, a prism battery holds more and works better than a cylindrical one. Don't ask me why. You'd only get confused, and so would I.
It's just interesting to know that.
And it's
because your eye often makes an assumption that isn't true.
Well, I mean, I found that when I was at college. You know, you automatically think that a smaller thing's not going to work as well as a bigger one, but
yeah, I knew that was coming.
They learned.
Right, I think we've dealt with that one quite well. I hope EC Blend is happy with the answer we've given on that.
Yes.
Because we've tried to elaborate as much as we can on that one. EC Blend asks the next question as well that I'm going to put forward. I have another question. What is the preferred tobacco flavour for the best RY4? Now, I've chosen that one above others because there's a bit of a link there with our previous one.
Ooh.
Now, what do you think? Is it the tobacco that's the whole crux of RY4? I personally don't think it is, but I'd like to hear your view on that.
Oh, this is so difficult. This is so difficult. The tobacco, the original RY4, the first, and many would say the best. The original tobacco is exactly the same as whatever flavouring they use in straight tobacco. You know,
Yes.
if you get a totally wicked tobacco juice, that's the basis of it. To which is added vanilla in small quantities, caramel in small quantities. There's something in there that apes honey in small quantities.
Yeah.
And a little bit, and then it kind of starts to get a little bit murky. And I'm deliberately being vague, or a little bit vague, and people will find out why in the next 2 or 3 months. But there is a reason for that. 2 other people know why, but I can go no further. Other than to say, whatever tobacco it is that's in decant tobacco and totally wicked's tobacco that they put out with all of their tobacco carts and everything else, that's the tobacco to use. It's not tobacco absolute. It's not Virginia, because Virginia would just be too sweet by itself. It's not flue cured, because flue cured would have too much of a citrusy edge. It would be too sharp. So I'm kind of leading you down the path without telling you exactly what it is. But it's just a generic tobacco. That's where it wants to be for the best RY4. After that, there are a few secret ingredients that you can tweak with.
And it's the balance, isn't it, Dave? The balance of those other things. Not too much of whatever that honey essence is, and not too much of the caramel. That's what makes it a success, isn't it?
As I've said before, and people often ask me, what is it about RY4? How do I put it? It tastes different on different days. It tastes different at different times, which is kind of strange in many ways.
Like perfume.
Well, yes, I suppose it is. You know, you can get up on a morning and take a deep drag and it's dark, and it kind of fills your lungs with this darkness, and there's not too much sweetness there, but you get through to lunchtime and you've got this honeyed sweetness that might have a hint of caramel, and then you go a little further into the day and you've got loads of caramel, not much honey, a little bit of candy floss and a bit more tobacco, which again, and people probably didn't realise, but I did the RY4 battle. I tasted the juices at the same time every day. Every time I did it, it was always done at the same time of day. Again, because I know RY4 can be so different on different... You know, you get those meh days.
Mm-hmm.
When it's meh. And it's just like... I've never had one with RY4. Never. I did on DK Tab. I had days on DK Tab when it was like, meh, I need something else. And that would be when the maple waffles came out. Which I like a lot. But RY4's never given me a meh day. It's always been there for me. It's always served me well, as Mr. Sutton would say. It's looked after me. I have RY4gasms on a daily basis. There you are. You're just smiling at me now, Chris. Have you never had an RY4gasm?
No, RY4 to me is like fish and chips. You know, you walk past a fish and chip shop and the smell that hits you is glorious.
Right.
And it never lives up to the smell when you taste it. I never like it to actually vape RY4, but I love when somebody else is vaping it. I love the aroma of it. It's absolutely gorgeous. But I couldn't vape it myself. So there you go, you see. To me, I have to come back to that analysis of a good perfume. Where you think you know all the ingredients, but you don't know that secret magic, and it may have nothing whatsoever to do with the quantities that you're putting in things. It could have something to do with how long it's steeped. You don't know. None of these things we truly know.
No.
You know, they may leave, and I'm now talking about when Jantik created the original Ryan juice, you know, that they may have left it for 3 or 4 weeks in a vat. We just don't know. And it's that don't know element that makes it absolutely amazing, even for people that don't vape it. Because the majority of people are like me, that like the smell of it and think, oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. You know, and it is. It's beautiful stuff. But I hope that the actual mystery is never solved.
Yes.
I hope it's never solved, and I hope we never know. It's one of them mystery juices I'd like to see left as a mystery, you know, and whoever produces it, make it like Coca-Cola and never give the recipe away.
Like the original
That's what I
Coca-Cola.
think.
Yes, that would be nice.
You know, that's my thoughts on RY4.
Yes.
So there you go.
So that's probably of no great assistance to EC Blend at all.
None at all.
Or it might be. It's base tobacco is what it is, but don't put tobacco absolute in it. That would ruin it. It's too dark, too sharp, too spicy. Yes.
So there you go.
Aye. Shall we move on from there?
We shall move on from there. It certainly created a discussion in chat, so they're enjoying all this.
Oh, good.
Right on. Our next question comes from Schnoodles.
Schnoodles,
I love that.
yes. I love the Schnoodles.
Schnoodles.
I'm really
Yeah.
hoping that she's in the UK. Because
Love that.
I could see me getting me knuckles wrapped for doing the Schnoodles. Is Mr. Kidson meeting the Schnoodles tonight and in the Hofbrauhaus? Oops, hang on. There you go.
Right, are you finished? Are you going to behave?
No.
No, I didn't. Never mind, I'll ask the question anyway.
Go on then.
I read on one of the forums that it is bad to dry burn, as doing this can create carcinogens from the metal of the atomizer. Is this true? Should I be worried about the burnt taste, etc.? Mr. Dawn?
In two parts. Firstly, no, it's not true. The metal that's used in all of the coils is either nichrome or canthal. Canthal in the Cisco's, nichrome in everything else. And unless you are massively susceptible to nickel, and there's not that much of it in nichrome, you're going to be fine. It can, and as far as I'm aware, there are no carcinogens produced from heating a coil. Had there been, everything you put in an electric oven would be bombarded by carcinogens, especially in a fan oven, every time you cooked. So your Yorkshire puddings would give you cancer, kind of style. So
Yeah.
no, I think there's no truth to that at all, in the same way as I think there's no truth to all this aluminium making you poorly bad. Because we've been cooking in aluminium pans for 1,000,000 years. So no, just no. Should you be worried about the burnt taste? Well, no, you just put some more juice on, really. If you're getting a burnt taste and you can't get rid of the burnt taste by upping the quantity of juice that's on the coil or in the cartomizer, then it's what's known in the trade as curry packet, Donald ducked, fire trucked, cattle trucked, get shot of it. It's had it. It's deed. It's gone to meet its maker. It's shuffled off this mortal coil. Did you see what I did there?
Oh, very clever.
Do you like that? That's clever
No.
for a lad of my age, you know. Oh, come on, it was canny for an old lad.
Can I ask you, have you ever done this dry burning thing, Dave?
Not intentionally. Well, no. I gave it a couple of goes to see what happened and came to the conclusion that it was a waste of time. But then, I take the view that if I've paid £5-6 for an atomizer and I've had a week out of it,
Yeah.
then, there's the point. Life is just too damn short. If it's wimped out, or it doesn't taste right, or it's not working the way I want it, fling it, put another one on. I used to smoke 60 a day. Do the maths, it's £144 a week. So a £5 atty, well, for me, that would have been, 6 hours of smoking with ordinary tabs? So, it just used to go up in smoke. In fact, if you go down into that there London place, you'll pay that for a pint.
Aye, very true.
Or
Very true.
a double gin and whatever it is you put in one. Preferably another one, probably. It's not like it's earth-shatteringly great amounts of money. I mean, I'm not saying, 3 a day, but if it gets to the stage where it tastes nasty and it's not working, I'm with Trog. I'm with the Lord my Trog on this one. Fling it, hoy it, get a new one. That easy.
You see, I agree with you to quite a large extent on that, except I am mean. And I don't like having to buy atomizer after atomizer. And I feel that dry burning, I'm wasting my atomizer. That time I'm spending dry burning, I could actually be vaping on the darn thing. So, waste not, want not, as far as I'm concerned. So it's not something I've ever done, because I could never see the point of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Never see the point.
Although, years ago, my daughter and I used to go clay pigeon shooting a lot. And one of the lads that was out every day, he shot for England in the Olympics and stuff like that. And she asked him the question. She said, "How do you clean your shotgun?" He said, "I put another cartridge up it." She says, "That blast the cobwebs out. I'll just put another cartridge up it." She says, "Well, but you're supposed to clean it." He says, "Look, I use it every day. It gets used every day. There's not a day goes by without it doesn't get shot. It's shot every day. There's no point in spending 2.5 hours scrubbing the blood thing, because it's just going to get another cartridge up it at 10 o'clock the next morning." And to a large degree, yeah, you're right, stick a bit more juice on. If it still doesn't taste right, it's had it, get another one.
I quite agree.
That's for me. But then, I might change me tune in 10 years' time when I'm properly retired and on me pension and I've got no money and, stuff like that. But me daughter won't abandon us. She'll keep buying them for us. I'm sure she will. She's going to be rich anyway. She's very intelligent. Well, she's marrying a rich lad, so...
Oh, well.
Aye.
I'd have to warn you, Dave, we've got quite a time lag in chat now,
Right.
between going out. So everybody bear with us. If your questions aren't coming up as quick as you think they should, it's because we've got a bit of a time lag. Okay?
Yes, the internet is acting up. The interwebs are being slow tonight.
They are being a bit slow and it's out of our control. Nothing we can do about it.
No.
Right, I will go on to the next question. And this particular question is from Mr. Garry Dibley.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, have any of the vendors found a way for insurance? I'm still looking but having no luck. My trading standards officer is looking into it, but he is also stumped. Now, we've had this discussion I believe on our first show.
It was on the debut show.
Yeah, and there was a few vendors there, wasn't there?
Yes. We've had no feedback, no positive feedback, no feedback to say that any vendor has actually been successful in finding insurance with a UK company that will explicitly cover e-cigs and juice. I would think, Gary, that if you're working with your trading standards people, if they're not aware of any, then it probably doesn't exist. And that's the big challenge. Somebody somewhere is going to have to come up with it, because you kind of have to have it. And if you have to have it, somebody's got to provide it, or my feeling at any rate is the government would have to underwrite it. I think if you've taken all possible steps to get it sorted out, then I don't see what else you can do. Have you heard anything more positive, Chris?
No, nothing at all. Same as you. As far as we know at the moment, there's only an American company. But as we saw, there are insurance companies out there who are encouraging people to come forward with claims, which is frightening, isn't it?
Well, it's the whole ambulance chasing thing, and I've noticed on the telly now, they're advertising for even dafter things to come and claim for. It's not just have you had a slip or fall anywhere because you were so bloody clumsy you couldn't see your feet. They're coming up with all sorts of things to claim for now. They're just looking for people to claim off, because it's obviously a cash cow for these so-called solicitors that have become ambulance chasers. It's not a state of affairs that I like at all. I think it's shocking, in fact. And if I'm to be honest, I think it's about time our lords and masters in Westminster got their heads together and realised that it's nothing more than a scam looking for somewhere to happen, and it's actually damaging the economy.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, daft thing, my wife, right, she's a woman of a certain age. She's over 21, as are we both. And she's been up and down step ladders all her life. Painting ceilings, hanging wallpaper, stuff that we've done together all our married life, and probably before then. But now, in her job, in a school, she can't even go up a 2-step little standy-uppy thing that you wouldn't call a set of step ladders without working at height training. She's got to have a certificate to let her go up, a little step stool kind of thing that you would have in the house. Mm-hmm. Because it's all this litigation thing, and if you haven't got it and you fall off, then your employer's responsible and all this kind of rubbish. And that's exactly what it is. It's nothing but it boils my water.
Well, yeah, it's exactly the same for me. I'm a volunteer for a charity working from home with my own equipment, and the charity I work for wanted to send their health and safety guy to check out my home to see if it was safe for me to work in. And this is taking it too far.
Well, it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
It's. I think everybody's aware of what the risks are with e-cigs, and particularly with batteries, because that's where the most immediate risk is likely to be. And I think everybody knows that if you stack batteries, you're taking more of a risk than if you use a single battery on its Todd. Mm-hmm. Which is fine. You know that. Mm-hmm. And you make an informed decision. Am I going to stack batteries and go for 6 volts or 7.4 volts or whatever? Or am I going to reduce the risk and use a single battery and buy myself a VV that works on a single battery? Or, most people know how it all comes together, and they make a choice accordingly. And I think to some degree, if you'd gone and bought a Zeus say, where they're talking about stacking batteries in its use, which answers a question that was posted on the comments form on last week's show. Then if they're advising you to do that, and you kind of take it on board that, yeah, it's perfectly safe, and you get it wrong, then perhaps there's some recourse. But if you're properly informed, if they say, as Toby does with the silver bullet, yes, you know, two CR123s will fit in there, and you could stack them, but we would advise you not to. There is a risk. If you wish to take the risk, it's at your own risk, and we will accept no responsibility because we've told you you didn't know how to do it. And in that situation, that's fine. For me, as far as I'm concerned, I would look at that and say, well, I'm going to chance it. And if I blew my hand off, then I've only got myself to blame. Certainly not whoever I bought it from. But that's me. The fella 10 doors down along the road might go, oh, where there's blame, there's a claim, that's £45,000. I'm having that. Because people like that exist. Oh, Chris, you've gone. Come back to me, Chris. Where are you? I'll call her back up, people. This is terrible, it is. This is Skype. Come on. I'm ringing. Are you there? There you go. Are you there?
Skype doing what Skype does.
Oh. Every time. Every time. Anyway, you're back now. Sorry, I was... Whoa! The parrots are on form. They must know it's back up.
Yeah, they know it's back up. They heard it come back up.
Good Lord. So, yes, Gary, there you go. At the moment, I think, to be honest, the best thing all of the vendors can do is get together and find some way of dragging a friendly trading standards officer in and get the whole bunch of you together and go and talk to a couple of insurance companies and say, look, we've got trading standards, they reckon it's fine, we're abiding by everything that they've said, here's what we need, sort it out. It's going to be the only way to do it, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's going to take action from everybody together. Join together for this one and then claw each other's eyes out later. Ow. That went through my head as well. So there, that's that one.
Okay, go on the next question.
Yes, let's.
The next question is from Liam, who says, I want to make a mod. What battery holders are out there? Can standard battery holders from RS or Maplins be modified? This is one really for Garry Dibley, isn't it?
It is. Gary, have you got Skype or a telephone? Give us a yell. Not being one to take a chance on chopping me fingers off, I know that there are proper 18650 battery holders and battery cases available in Maplins and everywhere else, and I know that the likes of Garry has used such cases in the past to produce some extremely effective mods. So yes, those are the places to look, certainly in the UK, Maplins and RS components. And the beauty about Maplins, of course, is that you can go on, you know, you can actually feel the quality and test the width and stuff like that. So it's worth having a look. Beyond that, I'm with Sav. I cannot make it, so I buy it.
Well, I cannot make it, so I have to buy it.
We saw that last night.
I proved my point. But then again, I think Mr. Dibley could learn a thing or two from me.
Well, you could learn what not to do.
Mr. Dibley, if you're listening, ring in, please. Answer that question for us.
I'll put the number up for you, Gary, because I'm good that way. There you go. It's in there. 01172 302 794 or Skype us on Hi-Fi Stud 01172 302 794 or Skype us on Hi-Fi Stud. We want to hear from you. Please do. There you are. You've had loads of time to write that down. Starting to sound like Radio Newcastle here.
Oh, but just,
Yes.
when do we stop for the weather?
Hang on, just a minute. It's persistently raining.
It's persistently coming down.
Yes, it's
There you
checking the
go, that's the
dining
weather,
buckets.
and there's no happening in the news.
Do you want the traffic?
Traffic,
There's none on our street. It's a cul-de-sac.
it's gone quiet here, and I'm on a main road.
Ah, well, that's 'cause they're all indoors watching Vapor Trails TV.
They are indeed.
Exactly
That's
where
what
they
they're
should
doing.
be. Yes, if they're not watching it live, they'll have downloaded our web application onto their iPhone or their other mobile device, and they could well be watching the show from last week on there.
Yes, yes, because we're now putting VTTalk out onto YouTube. Isn't that right, Mr. Dawn?
Yes,
And it will go on the iPad, etc., which would be lovely for me.
yes, because I actually remembered to press record about 5 minutes into the show.
Excellent. Well, there you go.
Yes.
Right, now I'm going to ask a question that Mr. Dibley put in regarding when we were talking about all this literature. And he made the comment about vaping, it's like vaping a curry. He asked the question, have you tried the DV4? No, I haven't tried that.
No, neither have I. We've got a call coming in.
Excellent.
Hello, caller. Who's calling VT Talk? Hello.
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 Who's that?
This is Dave. Who's that?
Hey, Dave. It's Delay.
Yes, there is. For God's sake, don't try watching it and talking at the same time. It won't work. You've just got to concentrate on the phone.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
So who've we got?
It's Gary.
Gary, I didn't recognise your voice. I'm so sorry.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well. And I'm going to ask Kat if she'll read that question out again, please, because this one is so right up your street. There's not a better man in England to ask.
The question reads, I want to make a mod. What battery holders are out there? Can standard battery holders from RS or Maplin's be modified? And the question is from Liam.
Yeah, well, they can, but the obvious problem is a lot of the batteries out there at the moment are, they vary in size so much. So, for example, a standard AA sort of battery box that you can get from Maplin's or something like that will take, as standard, some unprotected 14500s. Protected 14500s are a problem. The box then needs modification. So there are, plastic tabs and bits and pieces that need to be cut out. So they will take them, but the box will need modification as well, because the batteries vary so much from manufacturer to manufacturer and supplier, and they change weekly, daily, monthly. They're never ever the same specification.
What about 18650 boxes, Gary? Because that's not a size that you see in normal battery life, is it?
Yeah, the 18650s you can find. There is a whole host of boxes available for those, and you can find them. The best source, Deal Extreme, do a whole host of 18650 holders. eBay is another good source. I think there's a thread on the modification section in UK Vapes that somebody set up, which is literally full of 18650 holders.
Oh, right. So that's on UK Vapors?
On UK Vapors, yeah. In the mod section, there's a whole bit on that. I mean, you can get them. Most of the common Rapid Online is a good supplier. They do a whole host of bits and pieces. CPC is another good supplier for mod parts in the UK. Maplin's, there's a whole host of them out there. I'm sort of hoping to put together a sort of a guide, as it were, to where to get things from.
Okay, because I have heard a rumour that you've been speaking to one of the team. Is this right?
What's that, Dave? Sorry.
I say I've heard a rumour that you've been speaking to one of the team about this kind of thing. Is that right?
I had a chat with the Vapormist last night. Yes.
Good. So we might be seeing you online.
Yeah, hopefully. We were sort of chatting about putting together some sort of a step-by-step guide. Taking somebody through a box mod start to finish.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
You don't want me to step forward as a volunteer, do you?
God, no.
No, I won't get my drummer out.
Gary, did you watch that last night?
I didn't. I come in at the end, and I see the replay is going to be good.
Just take my advice and have a bucket handy, because you'll wet yourself. You will.
Yeah, I know how she feels. Obviously, you know that. The one thing to say is if you are using power tools, please be careful. And
if you're using any tool, I'm lethal with any of them.
Injury in the past as well, as many people know, and it can be painful.
I'll tell you what, it took me back to being 9 years old and the early episodes of Doctor Who. I was hiding behind the settee. I was that scared. I had visions of blood spurting everywhere, a la Spartacus.
Yeah. I look forward to that one, I tell you.
You'll love it. You'll enjoy it. Now, Gary, while we've got you, are there any other little pearls of wisdom you can share with us before the Vapor Mists take control of the rest of your life?
Well, in terms of modding?
In terms of the boxes and you know, I mean, you've come up with all these places. I'm wondering, is there a secret and special place to get hold of the connectors?
Connectors?
Yes.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I find that, and this is for my own, personal reasons. Obviously, supplying mods, if you're making them for yourself, then you take the risk upon yourself. When you're supplying them to others, a lot of the connectors that are out there at the moment, the stuff that comes out of China is bad. The silicon inserts are quite poor. And certain atomizers that are coming out at the moment, they will crush connectors very, very easily.
Yes.
So it's if you are going to use the connector, I tend to strip a connector apart and I re-insulate them, purely because I know the ones that are out there are not that great at the moment.
Right.
I know there are improvements being made. And myself and a few others have been talking to people to get them improved, and improvements are coming through.
Super stuff.
And I've got some now that are of a new, improved, sort of pretty much short-proof variety. But that's the weak link, really, in any mod is going to be your atomizer connection.
Yes.
So there are ways of making it safer, and hopefully I'll put something together on how to do that. If the modding sort of thing, instruction video goes ahead. But that's the main thing to be wary of, is obviously because that's the weak point, the thing that can cause a short.
Mm. Well, I've got to say, I'm really, really looking forward to seeing you working alongside the Vapor Mists and coming up with this. It thrills me. It's been a week of thrills for me, as far as Vapor Trails TV is concerned, and that's a little bit more icing on the cake. It's cracking, and I'll be really, really happy to welcome you to the team.
Dave, before Gary goes, can I ask him a question that's come from chat that I think he may be best answering?
Yes, of course.
There's a question came in from Rusty about a sticky auto switch. How can it be unstucky?
I didn't get a word of that, Kat, sorry.
Right. Rusty is asking if you've got a sticky auto switch, I presume in an automatic battery, how can you unstick it?
It depends. It's the old scenario. How stuck is the switch? I mean, normally with the old auto switches, I used to take all of the old totally wicked returns and sort of give advice to Jason on what was failing, where it was failing, and why and how and so forth. The 9 times out of 10, a automatic switch will fail because it's got juice.
Yes.
As soon as juice gets into that switch, juice starts corroding. If you catch it early enough, you can, going back sort of 2 years ago, you hold the switch upside down, drain it, you can blow the battery from the other end. But once juice gets in that switch, you're pretty much gone.
Yeah. Yes. Centrifugal force, maybe? Kind of spin it out?
Yeah, I mean, you can stick it upside down on a paper towel overnight, and you'd be surprised, Dave, how much juice I've got out of some mods that have been returned.
I can well imagine.
I think I had a pass-through back once, and I drained it, and there must have been about 3 ml of juice inside it.
Was it RY4?
It wasn't. It was I don't know what it was, but it absolutely stunk to high heaven.
Oh dear, must have. Not
but
good.
yeah, juice in auto batteries is a killer, and once it's in there, the corrosion starts, and you're knackered.
Yeah. Well, that's good stuff. Thank you for that, Gary, and thank you so much for calling in. And yes, if it all does go ahead with the vapor mists, I think there's going to be some people extremely happy, and you'll get a very large viewership. I am certain of that. So,
no, good to talk to you.
And you, sir. Thank you very much for calling in.
Soon.
Cheers now.
Cheers now. Bye.
Bye. That was Garry Dibley calling in on 0117 2302 RY4 or 794 if you want it that way. He is the ModFather. There's no two ways about it. What Gary doesn't know about mods probably isn't worth knowing. There, that's building him up. Why
It's
you
also
shake your
true.
head? It's true, it is, yes. True and cannot be denied. So, there.
Right,
Hopefully,
next question.
yes.
And it's from Steve Mack.
Mm-hmm.
Does Dave D always drink juice before he vapes it?
Only if I've never had it before. The thing about it is that sometimes there are two different kinds. There's a flavouring and there's an aromatic. And what I discovered was there are times, you know how you sniff it? You have a bit sniff of a juice to see what it smells like, which is one thing. Well, I like to have a taste and see whether that taste comes through. And I have the peanut from last night handy, and I'll try to demonstrate. It's very simple. It's just a little drop on the end of the finger, and that's got the skin on. and you just get to taste it. It's not going to do you any damage. It's just the equivalent of 3 big draws. And then you would stick that in an atomizer, and no, I'm not, because I've chucked out the one I tried it on last night. And you give it a drag to see whether the flavour that comes through on the drag is the same as you tasted when you tasted the juice. Now, if it doesn't, then you know it's an aromatic that they're using, or a non-aromatic, or whatever. But it's the taste of the juice is not going to transfer to the taste of the vapour. That's the only reason I do it, but I don't do it all the time. That said, I don't mind getting, a few drops of RY4 on my tongue, because the taste is lush. Get custy lush like nout, as we say up here. So there you go.
Right, there's a question has come in for Gary, but because of the quite long time lag we've got, it's too late. Gary's already gone.
Oh.
And Sav didn't waste any time getting the question to me, but it was just too late. And it was a question on switching to RCA connectors. I would suggest we wait. Maybe Gary might come back into chat, or we'll try and get a hold of him, maybe, Dave?
Yes, I can't get him back because he came in on phone. But what we can do is invite Gary to come along and perhaps do a guest slot next week.
Wouldn't that be great if he could?
I mean, if he doesn't mind doing that, then he can take the questions as they come.
Mm-hmm.
So
that would be fabulous.
Yeah.
So apologies, Steve Mack. It just came through too late because of the time lag.
Yes, we are running with quite a lag, and we can only apologise that, but it's out with our control.
Yeah.
The interwebs are being silly.
Right, I've got a question from Tony123.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get as many, and we are coming to the end of the hour now, but it's apparently getting a bit stuttery in chat anyway, the video going out.
Right.
Right, Tony has asked, have you any idea when the next batch of GGTSs are due in?
He's be shipping them out in 10 days to a fortnight.
Oh, wow. Not a long wait then.
He's assembling them now. Because I had him on Skype 2 or 3 days ago, and he was assembling them then. So it could actually be beginning of next week or the middle of next week when they get into the UK. It'll not be long. Start saving fast.
Oh, yeah, well, all these mods are coming out. They all seem to be coming out at once, don't they?
Yes.
Right. Does Hi-Fi have a 55-gallon drum of RY4?
No, but
again from EC Blend.
He is considering buying a 5 kilogram tub from vaporworld.co.uk. 5 litres. More, actually, nearly 6 litres of RY4. That would last me at least 6 months.
Very good, very good.
Yes.
Well, we're just about at the end of the programme, and we haven't taken any more questions because they're coming in more for Garry now.
Yes.
So I would, I know if you're having problems that it's becoming stuttery in there. As Bad Seeds just said, the interwebs is broke.
The interwebs are very poorly. Yes. I don't like the interwebs at the minute. They're not treating us very well.
No.
I like many. I'm waiting for fibre to the cabinet so that we know we've got decent upload speeds, and then we can get this programme and all of the programmes out nicely. We can only apologise, but unfortunately there's nothing we can do about it because what I'm seeing here is telling me that it's going out perfectly.
Yeah, and that they are having a bit of a problem, quite a few of them in there.
Well,
so there is no point on earth in us answering questions because they're not really going to be able to follow it in the last few minutes.
What I will say is, and perhaps Sav would type this in for me, the replay will have no stuttering in it at all.
Okay. I shall make sure she gets that message because she's on delay as well.
Ah, yes. Thank you, Chris. If it wasn't for the team, we'd be nowhere.
Aye, we're a good team, lad.
I think so.
We'll get the job done, lad. We'll get the job done.
We do. One way, by hook or by crook, we get there.
But it would be an absolute godsend to have the likes of Garry coming on and answering questions, wouldn't it, for the DIYers out there?
What? It would be lush.
Wouldn't it?
It would.
It would have saved me all of that effort.
Yes, but we wouldn't have had the entertainment, Chris. We want more of that.
I still think it's a valuable lesson to anybody thinking of doing this.
Yes,
don't.
That
if you don't know what you're doing,
didn't start.
Don't do a cat. Just bloody well buy the thing.
Yes, quite.
So I think my video could have some purpose out there.
Well, it has. It's taught me one thing, and that is I'm never going to try building one of those. I value my fingers too highly. I think we'd probably better wrap it up there if it's all going stuttery in.
I think so.
Live.
We've done the best we can, but the delay is getting more and more and more and more.
Indeed.
So it is now 10 o'clock.
It is.
So it's time to say goodnight to all these wonderful people.
It is.
And to say that you'll be back tomorrow, hopefully.
Well, now, it may be the Vapor Trails doing their show from Monday. We don't just know.
Right.
But I'm conscious of the fact that I've been on 3 nights this week, as have you, and
Yeah.
I'm conscious that our viewers might enjoy a change, and I know the Vapor Mists have got a lot to talk about, so I've offered them the chance to go out tomorrow night. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they can, and then, you know, people are not going to be plastered by my ugly mug 3 nights on the trot. Can't be doing with that. That would be terrible. So, for the time being then, if I may, I'd like to say thank you very much to everybody.